My scholarship covers my tuition.
Okay.
Then, since I'm a teaching assistant, I also get stipends. So it's like for
Good.
my living expenses
Expenses.
and basic health insurance too. So
Um,
it covers those things. Yeah. I didn't have the money to write to and GRA. God knows, the money was so much for me. I couldn't afford it. At your visa interview, if you don't understand something very well, please ask for clarity before you answer the question. Africa has the highest population of young people currently. Okay, currently they have the highest. It is the Africa is like it's where the world is expecting to get the next level.
all right. So today in our midst, we have Jeremiah Isu. He graduated from the University of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria, in 2018 with a first class honors in mathematics. He has a master's degree in mathematics from University of Oklahoma. Currently, he's a PhD student and a graduate teaching assistant. He just began his research in quantum information theory. He aspires to engage in interdisciplinary research to explore the potentials and possibility of quantum information theory and quantum computing. In 2023, he was awarded the Nancy Schofield Hester Mathematics Scholarship. And in 2024, the Harold Onike Scholarship, all in the David and Judy Proctor Department of Mathematics, University of Oklahoma. Jeremiah Isu is a God lover, passionate about self-development and positive change. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome Jeremiah Isu. Hello, Jeremiah Isu. Can you say hello to us?
Can you hear me? Good morning. From here, good morning.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Glad to
Thank you
have
for having me today.
the pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you sincerely. All right, so we have a whole lot of persons here that are itching to hear your stories and to share your experiences with us, and that how that could help them become better applicants in their own respective field. So I want to sincerely appreciate you one more time, Jeremiah Isu, and we ask that you share with us in details these questions, and of course the questions the people will be asking you at the course of this session. So let's start immediately. All right, so we're going to be asking you first, what school did you gain admission? And then you can also bring us what were some of the setbacks you had when you started applying for this school, and then like a school like yours. Tell us, what are the schools you applied for? Is it just Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma? Are there other schools you applied? And when you were applying, what were the challenges, the setbacks you had? So let's start from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. First, I want to start by appreciating After South Africa for this session that I was invited to host. Thank you. I so much appreciate it. So my journey began from when I was about finishing my first degree. That was back in 2017, 2018, when I was about concluding. So I began to think about further studies and what I have to do. First, I knew that I didn't really have the funds to proceed, advance my studies, so I needed external assistance. So that was what drove me to begin to make research to know what to do next. So during my service year, I began to read about scholarships, how I can apply for one, and then I began the process. It was a long process anyway, but I began the process and I had to sit for the TOEFL and GRE exams. That was the first thing I did. I sat for those exams. Then I applied to as many schools as I could. So talking about setbacks, I'll talk about that maybe as we proceed. So I took the GRE and the TOEFL. That was during COVID, even though many schools were waiving that criteria. But I just had to take it because based on what I had from Education USA, because I somehow participated in their session, plus that take these exams because sometimes there can be a tie between you and a candidate, and they're just looking for something, to either admit you or reject you.
Yeah.
So just because of that, I had to, take the exams. And then, so these are the things I did. I believe that it helped me very well. So I took the exams and I had to write my SOPs multiple times. That's the statement of purpose, those things, and also give out to people to review for me.
Yeah.
Yes, talking about the schools I applied to about 7 schools, 5 PhD programs, and 2 master's programs. That's basically how. Now, the way schools here in the US work, you don't necessarily need to have a master's degree to apply for a PhD program for most schools or for most courses. So even though I had just a bachelor's degree, I was also able to apply for PhD programs. So I applied to my school, University of Oklahoma, Alabama. I applied to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and I applied to Stevens Institute of Technology. These are the 5 PhD programs I applied for. Then I applied to Kent State University for masters and University of South Alabama for masters. So I applied to 7 schools in all. And yes, these are the schools I applied to. And actually, I got 3 rejections and 4 offers.
Wow.
So I got rejection from the University of Pennsylvania, University of Alabama, and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Then I got offers from the rest. Now, so I had to choose the University of Oklahoma because number 1 is a PhD program, and number 2, I was funded. So that's why.
Okay. So that
I
simply
chose
means
the University of
other schools were not funded. Is that what you mean? The other remaining
Yes. The others, for Kent State, I was placed on a waiting list for funding.
Okay.
For University of Stevens, I got a PhD program in Stevens, but there was no funding. For South Alabama, I got the school. Yes, I got admitted. But before I got admitted to South Alabama, I've already been admitted to OU, which was a PhD program. So I rejected the offer.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's a great one. I guess it wasn't an easy one for you. It wasn't an easy ride applying for all the schools and then still having rejection. So during the your looking at the rejections you had, how did that make you feel when you had some of those rejections? Did it mean you didn't do well, or the 4 you had was already okay for you? There was no need bothering myself with the remaining 2. What was it like for you when you had those 3 rejections?
Now, I'll start by saying that these are just few of all other rejections that have come before this time.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's why when I was talking about the setbacks, I'll talk about them later. Now, actually, my first try was the UK,
Okay.
where I wanted to, so I can maybe share scholarship and all of that. But I wasn't successful. Okay. So there, I had my own share of tons of rejections. I applied to, I think, London School of Economics. Sorry, London School of Tropical Medicine. So,
Okay.
yeah. But I didn't hear back. So I had so many rejections, right? But you see, like someone told me back then, all you need is just one offer. It cancels all the rejections.
Ah.
Yes, all you need is you don't need 2, you just need 1. So somebody here listening to me, maybe you've had your own share of rejections. So it doesn't mean that you are not a good candidate.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing is that people have to make decisions. And because they have to make decisions sometimes, it's just because maybe they don't want to maybe admit somebody from a particular region, or they already have a quota that, hey, in this admission system, we have to accept, let's say, 3 people from Africa, 2 people from Asia, and all of that. So there are just so many things that go into all this. Okay. So the thing is, it doesn't mean you are not good. Just keep pressing and keep pushing. You'll pull through. Yep.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Now, what about tuition deposit? Was it part of your scholarship? Was all of that involved? How did you manage all of those for you during your application?
You mean
Tuition deposit?
I'm paying my tuition?
Yeah, tuition deposit, the deposit.
Oh, okay. I get it. Actually, I got a full ride. I didn't really need to
Was part of
make
the
any
whole.
deposit. Yes.
All right. All right, great. Thank you for that feedback.
Yes.
I needed someone to be clear on that so that we don't need to go back on it again. Now, you've mentioned about your journey during your application and how you got rejection and some were also accepted. And the reason why you chose Oklahoma because of the funding for what you were looking for. Now, is PhD actually difficult as people make it to be? Is this something that's very difficult, or is because you are an academician, or because you just want to further? What is it like? Is this something very difficult?
Yeah, it's a very good question because there are many sides to this. Now, the thing is, um, there are many things that influence one's experience in a PhD program. To start with that, so for me, the first thing is your PhD advisor.
Okay.
Your PhD advisor can make it a heaven for you or a hell for you. So this is the thing. Whenever it comes to a PhD program, your relationship with your advisor is the most important thing. I mean, I don't know how to really explain this, but that doesn't mean you won't put in the work. But for the most part, that relationship with your advisor is key.
Okay.
You can be so smart and so good in what you are doing. If you don't have a good rapport with your advisor, it will spoil so many things. Okay, so for me, the first thing to do is to find someone you can easily work with, someone that understands you. Just like a marriage, it's just like a mini marriage. When I was about choosing an advisor, I met a professor and he told me that this advisor thing is he told me it's like a marriage. That's what he told me. So the first thing is to find someone that you can easily work with.
Okay.
Then the next thing to think about is your skill set and what do you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? Now, when I met my advisor, what he asked me was this: number one, what do you like in this area? What do you like doing? Okay. So there should be a balance between what you love doing and what will be relevant in the near future. So there should be a balance between these two: your advisor, your skill set, and what you think can be relevant in the near future. You don't want to do something that when you are done doing it, it is so simple that everybody can do it and it makes no meaning anymore. So these are the main things to think about. First, your advisor. Secondly, your skill set. Thirdly, the relevance of what you think you want to do in the near future. So when you take all these things into account, you should be able to make a wise decision on what to do.
All right.
And this is, again, this is just to help you to navigate the PhD hurdles, because honestly, there are many hurdles on the way. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now,
but you can do it. It is very, very possible.
Now, you mentioned you won a scholarship. What was the thing that made you win a scholarship? What was the presentation that showed that your application is solid? What was it that you think made them pick you to say, yes, this candidate is worth it? What is that particular thing? So that people can look out for it too and begin to prepare themselves on that regard. Yes.
Yeah. So I will start with talking about your statement of purpose.
Okay.
Your statement of purpose has to be yours. When I mean yours, I mean yours. People can guide you. People can point you to the right way, but at the end of it all, it is your own story. Okay. Yeah. So I know some persons, they can go online, copy some things and frame it. But the thing is, nobody can tell your story better than you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So your statement of intent is key. For me, that is the most important part of your application.
Okay.
All right. So from there, you need to talk about your experiences, your background, your future goals, your short-term goals, and your long-term goals. And talking about these things takes time. So it takes time. I remember writing multiple drafts of my SOP,
Okay.
multiple drafts, even upon the day, until the day I turned it in, at least for my school, the school I'm attending right now, I I had to edit again.
Hmm.
Okay, so you need to make it classic, and for that to happen, you need to you can take time to it will take some time to do that. To take you at least 1 or 2 months to fine tune your writing. Yes, so your writing has to be it should be your story. It should be that when they try to check up that material, they don't find it really anywhere online somehow. It should be your story. Don't go to copy something from somebody else and turn it in. Okay, it should be your story, peculiar to you. And now there are things you need to learn how to in writing. When I
Okay.
mean organize your thoughts in writing, you need to learn how to tell that story, just like a thread that runs through a candle.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't need to be confusing, it needs to be organized. All right, so you need to learn how to bring your experiences into writing in a way that will convince somebody that you have potentials. Because over here in the Western world, writing is very important. What you write is powerful. People can hold you, people can believe you just by what you write. So
Yeah.
that is how it works here. Yes. So the SOP is very, very important. And like I said, also, if you have the privilege of writing the TOEFL or the GRE exams, in as much as some schools are waiving that criteria, please, if you have the opportunity to do so, please do,
All
because
right.
it gives you a footing.
I want to ask you this question because we usually find this question on our back end. A lot of people reach out to us and they say, I come from a poor background, from a poor home. I don't have money to go to school. So what can help me so that I can study? What is that thing you can tell that person now that is listening? I can say, okay, what can I do? I came from a poor background and I want to study abroad. What should they be looking out for to help them, so that we can have, imagine this section shared to so many people and they listen to you now, telling them, me too, I came from this same issue, but look at what I did, so that they can better prepare. Let's hear you, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. One thing I would try to start with is that someone told me many years ago, don't allow your background to keep your back on the ground.
Yeah.
Meaning that in as much as you don't have advantages, it's not peculiar to you.
Okay.
Okay, you can rise from it. Now, I didn't have the money to write to full and GRE. God knows, the money was so much for me. I couldn't afford it. All
Exactly.
right. Um, I just reached out to somebody and said, "See what I want to do. Help me." At least, even though I told the person, if the person said no, I won't be angry. Okay. But the thing is, at least I tried.
Yeah.
Now, number two, look out for um fee waivers, application fee waivers, because most times what stops students from applying to schools is the application fee. Now, of all the schools I applied for during those 7 schools I applied to, it was only one I paid application fee for.
Wow.
All the other ones were free.
Wow.
Okay, so you need to do the search and you will find them if you look for them. You
Hmm.
need to do the search. Okay, so don't stay on the side of, well, I'm poor. No, 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 no.
Hmm.
You can find those opportunities. They are there. So look out for them. Find application fee waivers and apply. Ask for it. Okay. So I did that. I applied to 7 schools. 6 of them were free, including my school.
Hmm.
The school where I'm studying now,
Amazing.
it was the free application I made. Okay. So it's very much possible.
Possible. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So very important. Thank you so much for that feedback. Now, it also involves that the person has a part to play. All right. So
Of course. Yes.
All right. So now you're already running your PhD program. What is the experience and how has it been so far? And how have you been coping, looking at the stages you've been going through and looking at where you are going? What is it been like for you lately at this period now? Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with saying that there's nothing free in Freetown, as they say.
Oh,
Because taking up a graduate degree is lots of work.
mm,
Some persons have the idea that, once you come to the US or you go to Europe, life is cheap, life is free. No, it's not like that.
okay.
If you're applying for graduate school, you need to be ready to put the work in.
Mm,
Otherwise, you lose your funding. So it's not really been easy, I would say.
okay.
But by God's grace and God's help, I'm pushing and I'm moving on. Now, what things have I done to help me progress in the program?
Yes.
Um, the first thing I think about is, number one, what are my goals for this program? What do I want to achieve? And secondly, what do I have to do to get to my goal? When I began my program, at least from the second semester, I had to write down, okay, this is the grade I want to make for this course. This is the grade I want to make for that course.
Okay.
So that's part of the things I did. And even till now, every day, or for most days, not every day really, but for most days, I'll have to pen down what I have to achieve that day. I have to pen down, okay, by this time, see what I want to do. By this time, see what I want to do. Now, something that looks so massive, maybe an exam to write, a qualifying exam, an exam, and all that. Those things are so big and so difficult. But by taking these little steps every day, it has worked for me
Mm,
100% of the time. So I take it in chunks. I take it little by little by little, trying to avoid distractions as much as I can, you know, get focused because I am doing multiple things. Number one, I'm teaching a class, I'm grading, I'm going for my own classes, I'm doing research. So these are just many things I'm doing. I have to get done every week. So because of that, I have to make sure I work with a plan. So that's the one thing that I've been doing has been working out for me very well.
wow, great. Thank you for that feedback because it's also very important. We take note of that because you mentioned some of the steps you are taking already in order to be able to achieve your goal. Now, since you got to school, what are some of those cultural or academic adjustments that you had to make, since you got into school, and how did you adapt? I remember having this same section with one of the persons we had this interview with, and she was sharing her experiences, how when she was in school, it was copy notes, but now when she got there, it was more of an interaction, So she said she didn't know, is that how you people do here? So these were her words. For some people, you can go back to that last video for those listening. So for you, what were those cultural adjustments or academic adjustments, and how did you adapt in all of this? Yes, thank you.
Well, the first thing that shocked me, this is positive right now, was that the level of trust your professors have on you. Okay, when I came into this country, just by the second, I was given a class to teach, just to teach a class. I mean, they just believe that you are able to do certain things, and they leave you to and they leave it out to you to do. Okay, so they believe in you. Actually, they believe you are able. They believe that since we've given you this opportunity to study here, it means that you can do something. We believe you can. Unlike for the most part of at least where I come from, where if you're in school, professors are just like if they are demigods and we are mere mortals. It's not like that here. There is this, to some extent, there is this relationship between you and your professor, you and your advisor, and all of that. So I would say number one, what shocked me was that they trusted me enough to handle certain things which ordinarily I wouldn't have be able to do before now. And secondly, number two, the communication style here is very much different. I can walk up to my professor today just freely and ask a question. Something that that wasn't like something I didn't have the opportunity to do when I was schooling back home. You know, send an email to a professor, asking a question, going for office hours, being free to express yourself. Those things were not things I was like things I actually knew were possible. But coming over to this side of the world, I saw that those things were actually very much possible, and it surprised me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, how amazing that could be, and taking those steps and adjusting to the pattern there, communication, and the whole stuff. All right, thank you for that. If you look at our comment section, people could see some of the links we're sending on the page. Please take advantage of them, log on to those pages, and then you see more about After School Africa. But I would like to ask you this question: while you were in school, you didn't take loan, or were you opportune to see people who took student loan? On that regard, if you were opportune to see them, how is it been like for them? Are there people that took student loan that you saw, or you were classmates, or that took student loan? And would you advise that they take student loan, on that case? So let's hear from you on your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much. I in my own department, because my own department, Department of Mathematics here, we don't really have people that are self-funded for the most part, at least in graduate school. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've not really seen, but I've met people outside my department that they've taken loans to study. Yeah. So, well, I didn't take loans, so I don't really know the process or how tedious it is. But what I would say is, if you know that taking loans will help you and you know that you are able to pay back the loan, then it would be a good thing to go for it if you can. Yes, if you can. And since I didn't take a loan, I don't know exactly the process, So, but if you know that taking a loan will help you to achieve your goals, and you can be able to pay back the loan within the specified time, and you're honest about it, then you can go for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that feedback. So concerning our loan, people, you can log on to our website to find out more details about our student loan, and the link also will be pasted on our page for people to take advantage of that for student loan, and we can give you more updates on that on how you can take loans for study abroad. All right, now back to our next question. I believe some people are already dropping their questions. So we want to find out, what are some of the fun things you began to do in school, or was it just academics for you? Are there fun or things you do in school, or are there hobbies that you participated? Did you pick any on the road or anything? What were some of those fun things?
Yeah, to start with, I would say that at least for me, taking up hobbies around is something I have to decide to do because of how busy I can be.
Wow.
Yes, so what do I do? Sometimes I watch soccer matches. Sometimes I have a piano at my back right now. I play the piano
I play the piano as well. I play the piano as well. So maybe we could play together one day.
Yeah, so play the piano. During summer, I visit the gym as much as I can.
Oh, good.
Or play some soccer match with some friends during summer. So those are the things I do outside the academia. Yeah.
Amazing. That's a brilliant one. So I saw a pianist too. And how good are you on the piano? I guess you're very good at it.
But I'm still learning, but I'm advancing very well. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. All right. So since you've been in your school, and what are some of the shocking experiences you've seen while you've been there? Is there any bad or shocking experience you've seen since you've been schooling there, knowing that you're an international student? Have you anything like that you've seen? If you share with
Yeah. Yes, of course. Things I've seen that look shocking. Okay, I think over here, for example, back home, if somebody tells you, "Hey, let's go for lunch,"
Yes,
intuitively you think the person will cover you. I mean, without asking.
Oh no. Okay, so what is it there?
But over here, if someone tells you, "Hey, can we go for lunch?" The first thing you ask the person is it on me or is it on you?
Oh, really? You have to specify that.
Yes. You have to ask, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the person tells you, let's go, it's on me, then you know that they will pay. But
Okay.
if they didn't tell you that, then most likely you pay for your food. So,
Ah,
so this is
wow.
something that, yeah, this is something that, like, that shocked me somehow. I'm like, wow, this
Okay.
is this is this is wonderful. So,
And
yeah,
have you asked somebody that kind of a question before on your own? On your own, have you done that
times,
before?
yeah. Like the times I've gone out with lunch with some people, I have
Okay.
paid from my pocket. But
Ah,
someone at once told me, let's go, it's on me.
okay.
Yes, then I know that yes, he will pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that reminds me on the scholarship now. Does it cover both your living expenses? What if you would like to share with us, what does your scholarship really cover for you? Just tuition and that's it? What is it?
No. My scholarship covers my tuition.
Okay.
Then, since I'm a teaching assistant, I also get stipends. So it's
Ah,
like for
okay.
my living expenses
Expenses.
and basic health insurance too. So
Ah.
it covers those things. Yeah.
Nice. That's a brilliant one. I needed us to clarify that so that we don't a lot of people can also be clear on what your scholarship covers. All right. So can you now before you left can you share with us your visa interview experience? I know a lot of people are itching to hear that question so that they can also have an idea on how they could prepare. What were the things that made you outstanding or that made you get approved so that people also listening and watching could also prepare themselves during your visa experience? What was it like so that we can also learn from you? Yes.
Yeah. So the visa interview, I think I had mine in Lagos.
Okay.
Um,
Lagos is Nigeria, right?
yes, Lagos, Nigeria. Yes.
Yes.
I think in Nigeria there are two. I think one US consulate and one US embassy. One is in Abuja, one is in Lagos. So I had mine at the US consulate in Lagos.
Okay.
And before that, now when it comes to visa interviews, you have to prepare for visa interviews as if you want to write an exam.
Oh,
Yes. Because it's one thing to get funded, it's something else to get a visa.
okay.
And as much as I know, the school has no interference on the visa process.
Hmm.
So it's a completely different scenario altogether. So what did I do? I had to engage in some mock visa interviews with someone for about I think 3 times. And
Hmm.
with two different persons. I think for one person was like 3 times, the other one was like 2 times. So I had to engage in that conversation, go online, look at the possible questions,
Questions, yeah.
and find and think of how to answer those questions logically and coherently without beating about the bush.
Okay.
Okay, without talking too much and without giving less information. So I had to know how to talk about them. And most of us also prayed about it because some of these things are it's just so dicey. So yeah,
Talking about
I
it.
can remember very well that day when I walked in. Just the guy before me was denied, and I was the
Wow.
next person.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
was wondering why the usher had just channeled me to someone that just denied someone in my just before me.
Like they deny this guy,
So
you're the next. Oh my God.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh my
So
God.
so that's it. So yeah, so
Wow.
I had to I had to make sure I prepared for it very well and also prayed about it very well, and I thank God it worked out
Should we
fine.
say your composure and your responses to your questions or your preparedness made you stand out? What was it for you? Your composure, your dressing?
Yes.
What was it?
Yeah, your composure is very important because,
Okay.
for example, if you look, I will say this: if you've not had the privilege of interacting with an American, all right, sometimes you may not even understand what they are saying very well.
Mm.
So before you go, make sure that at least you've listened to podcasts to hear the way they speak.
Okay.
All right. And at your visa interview, if you don't understand something very well, please ask for clarity before you answer the question.
Respond. Mm.
Yes. Nobody will penalize you for asking for clarity.
Mm.
So ask for clarity so that you are answering the questions that they are throwing at you. So you are just answering something else.
Mm.
Okay. So these are some things you need to do. Practice, pray about it as much as you can. Then try to at least acclimatize your hearing to
Answers,
know
yeah.
how they
To
speak. Yes.
respond. All right, all right, all right. Thank you for that very important question. All right, now back to this. I want to find out, and what are some of the things that's kept you focused while you are living in this place? What are those things? What are the things you are bearing in mind? Are there words from home that is helping you? Are there things you are focused on that is making? What are those things that has kept you focused while you are studying here in USA?
Yes. So the first thing again, I think I talked about it before, my goals, my future goals.
Yes, mention that.
Um, the way to success is filled with some potholes of maybe failures, disappointments, and all of that. So you need a community. This is where you need to have a community of people that you can easily talk to. You need to have a community of people that you can someone you can easily call and say, hey, this was going on. What can you help me with? So you need such people around you. For me, for example, I have a community. I have my church. I have the fellowship I attend online. So community of people you can talk to. Some persons come to the US or go into any country they are in and they isolate themselves. That is not the best. Okay. Find people that you can easily reach out to communicate your fears, your failures, and they can, talk you through it and encourage you. So this is what I would say. Because yes, there are some challenges. Let's say you get to the US or you get to Canada, you get to somewhere in Europe, and for the first few months, almost everybody experiences this. It's as if they don't understand what's going on. It's as if they are not understanding what's going on in class. It's as if maybe their background is not so strong to accommodate the things they are learning, to grasp what they are learning. So at such times, you need people to help you, to advise you, to encourage you. So because it can take you some time to balance.
Yeah.
Okay. I can remember that when I finished my first semester, I had to study many things because I realized there were things I needed to know that I didn't know. So I had to study to work myself up. Okay. So at such times, it can be very difficult.
Yeah.
All right. So for me now, it's past tense. I've passed that stage now.
Okay.
Now I've acclimatized very well. So at that initial time, most students, at least from the African continent or from parts of Asia, they tried to, it's a little bit rough. But as long as you persevere and continue, and again, that is why you need a community of people that will help you and encourage you at such times. Yes.
Well spoken, well spoken. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah. So I would like to ask people to leave their question on the page. We'll begin to take question and while we begin to wind down this session, because I know we are getting one or two question, thoughts from our speaker this moment. All right, just to find out from you, now you are learning, looking at yourself and what you've achieved so far. What are some of those unexpected lessons or something you learned about yourself during your studies abroad? What are some of those things you can tell us, some of those lessons you learned and you want someone to know about it too, so to also help them while schooling abroad or while preparing to come over? What are some of those unexpected lessons? Looking at yourself, you say, this is a very good lesson I learned. Yes.
Yeah. First, I would say that you never know how much you can do until you are placed in a position that brings out your potentials.
Absolutely.
Yes, you never know. Now, I know that sometimes because of maybe our background, or family background, or academic background, or societal background, or economic status, you feel that there's nothing much you have to offer. But that's not true. Okay, that is absolutely wrong and not true. So I've learned over time that I have potentials in me. Okay,
Yeah.
I have potentials in me that I can do something. So when I came into this country, it was a little bit difficult to, to keep up with studies and all of that. But by God's grace, I persevered. I found out that, hey, 2 years ago, I won a departmental scholarship. Last
Hmm.
year, I won another one. I was like, wow. So the
Wow.
thing is, you have potentials in you. You can do it. You can. There are potentials that God has embedded in you that can come out. So don't allow the present circumstance, your background, to make you feel that you are not able to do that. You can actually do it. So these things has opened up my knowing that I have potentials that I can harness. And not just that, I've also taking like a preview of the future to know what the future holds. And I know it's very,
Yeah.
very bright.
Wow.
Yes, based on how far I've come so far. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah. Sincerely appreciate that feedback. So now, after school, what do you plan to do from this moment? After school, what do you plan to do? Is there anything you're having in mind looking at some of your goals? Yes.
Yeah. So my area of research, I want to very much advance in it. It's I aspire to work in this discipline. First, I want to work in a research institute where we can make more advances in quantum science. So because the world is going quantum right now, so from the mathematical perspective, I want to contribute to that, and as much as I can, engage in interdisciplinary research. So, so my first, if once I'm done, my
Yeah.
first target will be to work in a research institute. Not merely teaching, but just doing research as much as I can.
Mm.
And my second goal will also be to apply to teach math in R1 universities.
Ah, that's a brilliant one. Well done. That's a brilliant one. Well done. Great. So now let's receive questions from our participants from all over, and leave your question on the comment section based on what you listened to or based on what you think we've not found out from him so that he can respond to them in the little time we have from this moment. So please leave your question on the chat box and then we can take it up from there and then ask our speaker. So while we're waiting for your question, I want to find out from our speaker today, Mr. Jeremiah Isu, is your experience schooling in the USA. What is it like on what is your experience schooling in the USA? Shaped your mind on the outlook of Africa. Looking at Africa now, you are schooling over there. What has it made you look? See Africa as at this moment. And how can your study abroad? Based on what you want to put up for yourself, what can you do now to begin to solve some of those problems that we're facing in Africa, looking at that? What can, some of, being there, I know you're saying, oh, I think we're lacking something here. And what can your study abroad, what can it bring in back home to shape some or adjust or make your contribution in, back home in your country?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I have a friend who I've been
Okay.
working with for some time. At least for the second year now, we've tried to, when we talk about helping Africans, we've tried to pay jam fees for people.
Wow.
I love that, right? Jam back in Nigeria. Education, there was this slogan I would say that school has come. Have you heard about that before?
Yeah, I heard it several times.
Yeah. So the truth is that school is not a scam.
Oh, wow.
All right. Yes, it is true that there are some lapses here and there, but you can't just throw the baby and the water just like that. There has to be. You just need to stay focused. Again, don't allow your background to define you. All right. Don't allow the things happening around you to stop you from dreaming to get as far as you can in your career. Don't allow the scenario playing around. Those things are just ephemeral. With time, they will pass
Yeah.
if you stay focused. So now, how do I look at Africa? I see Africa as a gold mine.
Mm.
In fact, in fact, studies show that Africa has the highest population of young people currently. Okay, currently they have the highest. It is the Africa is like it's where the world is expecting to get the next level. Africa is a gold mine. We have lots of potentials in Africa. I so much believe that Africans can do things that initially, or at least based on the criteria of the Western world, it's so difficult or impossible. But Africans can step into that shoe. It is very, very possible. So I believe in a better Africa, in a better Nigeria. I believe in a better whatever country you are coming from in Africa, Ghana, Tanzania, Egypt, Morocco, wherever you're calling in from, there is something that is embedded in you. So as much as I can, I'm praying that God will help me to get to a point where, for example, my own field of research is little known in Africa, where we can also have such a research in Africa going on also, because that is where the world is facing right now, quantum. So I don't really know so much about it back in Africa until I came to the US. So I think it's something that I can also leverage as God helps me to get up there and also help people, help them in this field of research so that we can advance research together.
Great. Thank you so much. That was a great response from you. Thank you, Mr. Jeremiah. All right, someone just left a question. Let's take one of the questions we've received so far. This question is from, let me get it quickly, Musa Gambo. Musa Gambo left a question, said, I would love to know how easy it is to connect with other students as an African, especially for study-related projects in the institution. Oh, how do you mean? I'd love to know how easy it is to connect with other Africans, other students as an African, African, especially for study-related projects in the institution. Is there any way you can, is there anything you can find out from this question?
Okay.
Based on what it's asking?
I don't really know exactly where the person is from, which aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. On one hand, on one hand, when you come to this country, for example, you just need to learn how to communicate with people. You need to learn how to interact with people. Okay. You need to learn how to ask questions, collaborate. At least for us in grad school is not a one-man affair. If I got stuck in something, I need to have somebody I can ask about that thing.
Yeah.
So, and for that to happen, I must have a team spirit. I must have the ability to collaborate with people, ask questions, interact, even things that are not purely academic. Go for lunch, just socialize with people. It's part of this game. Secondly, let's say you are back in Nigeria and you want to collaborate with somebody here for a project. It is very much possible.
Okay.
So it starts from sending an email. Send an email to the person, talk about yourself, talk about what they are doing that you love, then talk about what you want to contribute to that research they are doing. So it starts from an email. So send that email. But sometimes you may not get a response or a negative response, whatever. Just take the step, hit that send button. Okay. So that is the first place to start. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Quickly, we also have one more question before we wrap it up now. Question is from Wolda Kuros. I beg your pardon if I didn't get it right. He said, I've wasted my time searching for fully funded PhD scholarship in agronomy or related field. And he went further to say, I have been accessing many notices that are not real. So please help me share important link. Okay, is there any way you could help this person? He said he's been trying to find...
so agronomy, is it agriculture? It's agriculture, right?
I presume.
I think it's agricultural science related.
Or related field.
Yeah. So I have a friend that is studying, I think she's about finishing in a school close to mine.
Okay.
That's doing something in agriculture. So it's very much possible. Now, you go online, let's say you want to do agricultural economics, for example, you just type it in the agricultural economics, let's say US, you see schools that offer that course. All right. Now, I think we're running out of time. I wanted to tell you how to search for schools. Now,
Okay.
the schools I sought for, now there are over, I think, 4,000 schools in the US alone. 4,000. Think about that.
Hmm.
So, so, and the schools are ranked. Okay. So, if you want to make an application, you find a top school, you find a smaller school, you find school that is in the first 200s. Okay, find a school in the first 20, another one in the first 100, or two in the first 100, another one in maybe between 100 and 200, and all of that. So you that's how you pick schools. That's how I did mine. University of Pennsylvania is top there. University of Alabama, University of Oklahoma, Rensselaer, they are in the first 100.
Hmm.
So these are the University of South Alabama, it's down there. So these are how you make your applications. So when you search for that course or
Yeah.
related fields,
Yeah.
then pick the schools that are doing. You can let's say pick 20 schools. You may not be about to apply to plenty, but 20. Pick 20 schools. Then from that 20, think about this. What are the things I have? What are my certifications? Where am I? Do I have a master's degree? Or don't I have? What are their requirements? Do they have funding? When you ask these questions, that list will compress to like 10.
Yes.
Okay. No, now from these 10 schools, which ones are so high that it will take a special miracle for me to get there? Note that one down. Do I have the capacity to apply? Are application skills required? Can I ask for fee waiver? So when you ask these questions, that list can shrink to 5 or 7.
Okay.
Then with this list you have now, the next thing you do is to begin to talk to your recommenders who will recommend you.
Yeah.
Begin to write a statement of purpose. And your statement of purpose has to be tailored to the school. You don't turn in the same statement of purpose to multiple schools. That's not the way to do it. You have to write it to suit the program you are applying to.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I said. This is lots of work. You don't just pick up something randomly and make applications. No. You have to sort it just like the way you sort back when I was back home, the way you sort beans, right? Or rice and take away the stones. That is the
Sharp.
same thing you do. Okay, so you have to sort the schools, then think of the credentials you have already, and think of the schools that can easily accept you based on what you have. And let's say these schools also have funding for you. So with that, you go with it.
All right. Thank you for this thoughts and experience, because I know you've also gone through it as well, then lending your voice on how people can also take advantage of that. So in that regard, one of our admin also left a scholarship site on how you could also find scholarship in agriculture. You can go to the search and the comment section. You'll see our website there where you can find scholarship based on agriculture or the related field. You'll find that there. So the final question we're having, this person said it's from Kambayo, I beg your pardon. I hope I got it. Kayumbo. Yes, he said, greetings. It's a good discussion. Thank you. Now, he said, I'm a nurse and M&E graduate, all at first degrees. So what's your advice on how to win the scholarship for masters? And which school can you advise? He said she's a nurse and an M&E graduate, all at first degrees. All right, so what's your thoughts? What do you have to tell this person?
All right, thank you so much for that question. Now, at least in North America, nursing is a very good degree, and people are looking for nurses. But I know that there is this professional exam they have to take. Just like we took TOEFL and GRE, there is this professional exam you have to take before you can make applications. So you may want to consider taking those. I don't just check it, you find it. You may want to think of how you can make those moves. And again, there are also, let's say you want to do nursing in the US, and you don't really have a direct link to do it, you can go through taking up other programs, and then when you come in, you can switch if you want to. So when it comes to making applications, there is a primary focus, but sometimes the primary focus, which is your area of discipline, may not be readily available. You can have a secondary focus. Okay. Then when I was making applications, I was also open to not just pure mathematics, but applied mathematics, for example. So you can also do something like that. Think of, I have a nursing degree. Can I think about biomedical sciences? Can I think about something else that I can do that maybe they are funded, something I can easily get secure if I apply for it? Or will it also help me to just maybe take the professional exams I have to take and go and apply for nursing directly? So you need to just think about these things and know what best suits you.
All right. Thank you so much for that feedback. Thank you. And also, while we leave now, on the page, you also see that we left some of the scholarship side for nursing. So please take advantage of them and find out what you're looking for. You see some of the scholarships there you can take advantage of. Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah Isu. While we leave, this is also to remind you that EdExtra Limited and everyone listening, that EdExtra Limited will also help you for your scholarship, for your study abroad. You want to get your admission processes done. EdExtra can help you do that, and we'll also be posting that on the page so that you can take advantage of it and then log on to see how we could help you for your admission process. And we'll give you all the requirements that you need, everything you need to get your admission done. We'll be there to help you. Just find out on the comment section, and that will be taken care of. Thank you so much. So before we go, what are your final words for everyone listening to you, both someone who just joined now, based on all we've spoken, just put them maybe in a sentence or in a word where people can go home with, or an excerpt that we could put out there to say, okay, based on all we've discussed, this is one word I'm giving out to somebody listening to me at this moment while you're looking at your camera at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I just talk about that, somebody just asking a question about applying for program in gender development for the PhD, for their PhD. Yes, it's very much possible if you have such a master's program. Like I said again, for the most part, you have to do the digging. In a sense, you have to search for these schools, because in the process of searching, you will know what it requires. Like I said, you go online, you Google that course. Let's say you want that school in the US or in Canada, you Google it, gender development, Canada, gender development, United States, for example. Then when you see it, again, the same thing I told the other person, I think is you're just joining. You look at that list, maybe 20, compress that list based on the opportunities and your credentials to 10, then again to 7 or to 5, then make the application. That's the same principle. Okay. Now, final thoughts.
Yeah.
I will start with saying that just understand that you can. All right. You can get a scholarship. You can make those applications. It can look tedious and difficult. Yes. I passed through it too. I passed through it, and I'm also passing through such things also right now. So the way to success can be hard and difficult, but you can just make up your mind that you are getting there. So it's possible you have some rejections, but don't give up, don't quit, keep pushing. And as much as you can, pray about them, and God will show you mercy and give you favor, like He did for me. Wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a superb one. Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate you, Jeremiah Isu, for sharing your thoughts and your feedback. Thank you for this powerful session, for letting people know how they can also take advantage of scholarship opportunities. In fact, someone even said this is a good session. Thank you so much. So a lot of people are really happy with your feedback and how you responded, and also gave answers to some of our basic questions. And we sincerely appreciate you. I want to wish you well in your study and in all your endeavor. That when we reach out to you next time, it will be of a truth that you've gone farther and even met all your goals and ticked all your boxes. So we'll say congratulations to you one more time. And to everyone who has listened to us, we want to say well done, and we want you to reach out to us on our pages, and then take your time to communicate with us if you have inquiries based on student loan, based on scholarship, based on admission. We'll be there to respond to you. Log on to our website. All will be put up on this comment box. And then, of course, if you want to go back to this video, watch it again, we'll put that on our YouTube page, After School TV. You can find us on After School TV and then watch our video and what previous editions we've had, and you'll find that it is really interesting. Thank you all so much for paying attention and for giving us your time. From all of us here at EdExtra After School Africa, we'll say thank you. Izuchukwu is my name, and we want to say have a great time wherever you are. Bye.